From the One-Eyed Joe Studios in Deep Ellum, this is On Air Live. For the best in original music and stimulating talk, this is On Air Live.
Hi, welcome to Wrecking Ball Talk with 30D. So you were just listening to 383's new song, Fast and Loud.
One of my favorites.
Get some raw fucking power there for you.
There you go. Raw rainbow power.
So today we're doing something a little different. Yeah, sound kind of hollow.
Sound kind of hollow?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. Keep up.
I never run this area. But today I'm going to sit here, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So, if this is your first time tuning in, yeah, it's still hollow. Mm-hmm.
Really, we're live, and you're bitching about how you sound?
You can hear it, and I'll just talk. How's that? That's Littles. He's going to fix it. So, if this is your first time tuning in, I want to say thank you. I get a kick out of doing the show. It's called Wrecking Ball Talk with Dirty D, and you can always see me live every Wednesday night at watchonairlive.com, and it's always on demand afterwards. I like to get local people in the DFW area and interview them, try to get to know them, bands, comedians, burlesque troupe, pinup girls. Last week we had 2 ex-strippers and a hot band called Born and Raised. The strippers played Truth or Dare. You should watch that episode. And the band played Have You Ever, which was pretty fun. So you can always go to my website, wreckingballtalk.com, go to the on-demand section and take a look at the shows that I've done. It's pretty cool. So because I like to do various people that are doing something pretty cool in the DFW area, I don't try to stick to one thing. I just try to get different types of people. So I was sitting at one of my favorite bars, the Sunshine, and I walked in.
Best bar in DFW.
I walked in and sat down, and Killer, one of my favorite bartendresses, said, "Oh, I'm so honored to have 2 celebrities at the bar." And I was like, "Not a celebrity, no." But, who is this other person? And it was Eric Cherry. And I said, "Well, what do you do, Eric?" And he told me that he does voiceover work for anime. Now, I'm sorry, but I just do not know a lot about anime. But I started looking him up and looking at the types of shows and asking questions, and it's huge. So, I'm sorry. So, I had to call upon my friend, Louis Leverage. And he's been on the show before. And I said, "Do you know anything about anime?" And of course, he does, because he knows everything about everything. No lie. Watch some of my shows and you'll see him. History is crazy. So I said, please, I want to get Eric in here. I want to ask questions, but because I do not know anything about anime, except the only anime I know is anime.
Porn in it.
Tina Turner. I can Tina Turner when he's like, anime, eat the cake. That's the only anime. It's the only anime I know. So forgive me. That's why Louis is going to be conducting the interview. I'm sitting over here with Littles. I'm going to let him do his thing. I'm just going to watch over here. I'll interject, but basically I'm going to let Louis run the show. And in between, and halfway through the show, we're going to play another song off the new EP for 383. And at the end, we're going to close it off with the last one. So if you do not have that EP, you can go and see them this Friday at Tomcats, where they're going to be playing, and buy it. Or just contact one of the guys, 383. And
it'll be the best $3 you spend.
It's only $3 damn. Just do it, okay? So, Louis.
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
All right, as she said, we have Eric Cherry with us, who has a long list of anime projects he's doing. The biggest ones being one that is currently taking everything by storm, and that's Assassination Classroom. He also did a whole lot on Attack of Titan, on Titan, or whatever it's called. It's called something. My kids are, but it's Attack on Titan. It's kind of a big thing. Every cosplay is doing it.
Oh, it's huge right now.
Yeah, it is. I actually enjoy it. I was actually really captivated by it, and at first I was looking at it like, But then my daughter's like, no, watch it. Next thing I know, I'm binge watching the whole damn thing.
Well, I think the reason it got so popular, it was the first anime to come out in a while that was really adult oriented, like made for the 18+ crowd. It's violent, it's bloody, it's has a lot of subcontext and undertones that you have to be older to understand. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it's become so big and so popular, is for that aspect.
Well, and another thing that's great about it is the artwork is actually really, really good.
Oh, beautiful artwork.
It's almost like, say, like My Friend Totoro, or a movie that happens to be anime. So I agree 100% with you. Now, your new one, you play a bully on Assassination Classroom, yet, no offense, looking at you, I don't see you being the bully one.
Well, I'm part of the main bully's entourage. A little bit of spoilers if you haven't gotten this second season of Assassination Classroom. I'm also a top-notch ramen cook, which is really funny because me personally love ramen. I love like traditional Japanese ramen. There's an awesome restaurant in Fort Worth that I go to.
Have you tried the one down the corner?
No, I haven't.
It is excellent as we get offline.
Yeah.
But that I can't remember the name of it, but there's a ramen bar just right around the corner, right next to the bomb factory.
Okay.
And it is magnificent.
I'm gonna check that out. But that's what I found out. It was so awesome when I found out my character in Assassination Classroom also like works at his dad's ramen shop and is actually a good ramen cook. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody wants to know, how does one become a voice actor?
There's no one true path. There's a lot of different ways to approach it. The way I did was a little bit different. I was in theater from middle school on. I was a theater kid. That's what I did. But also, when I was a kid, me and my dad watched cartoons together. Old Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers.
The good ones.
The good ones, yeah. Good old Tex Avery and Chilly Willy and Captain Caveman.
Chuck Jones and all of those.
Oh, yeah, Mel Blanc's the god of voice over actors.
Well, I just found out, I didn't know, and I love Tom and Jerry, that he also, even though Tom and Jerry didn't talk, he did all the voice acting for Tom and Jerry also.
Yep. Amazing man. And so then as I got older, I discovered anime. I'm like, it's cartoons that are geared towards an older audience. I'm like, this is awesome. I get to continue my love of cartoons and still but watch stuff that's more age appropriate. And then I discovered anime conventions.
Oh, yeah.
So I started going to those and, being the theater kid, of course I started cosplaying. I'm like, oh, people dress up in costumes? I'm going to do that too.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I started doing that and was actually a big part of the cosplay scene for many years back in the day. And, but through that I met other voice actors and directors and they're like, hey man, you're a theater kid. We know you can act. Why don't you come audition at Funimation? It's right in your neighborhood. That used to be, this old studio used to be in North Richland Hills. Right down the street from, I graduated from Richland High School. Like literally you could see the Frost Bank building it was in from my high school.
Really? Is that where it's at?
That's where it was. Now it's out in Louisville Flower Mound.
Okay.
But that's where it was. I was like, sure. So I went out and auditioned. Back before it was a major mainstream, it's not major mainstream, but as mainstream as it is now. Mm-hmm. And started off doing Guard A and Soldier B and stuff like that. And my very first role was the redub of Dragon Ball: Curse of the Blood Rubies, the original Dragon Ball movie. And I was like a couple different villagers and stuff like that. But then slowly have worked my way into more lead roles and major roles in shows.
I think that is awesome. Now, me, when I was growing up, I'm a day or two older than you, the big anime, which was big back then, was Speed Racer and Voltron and Robotech. And my personal favorite was Star Blazers.
Yeah.
I loved Star Blazers. But now, even that style really isn't even done anymore. It's totally changed the whole thing from the Gambit. Now, I think it was funny. I'll tell this little story. Me and my son, and he's 20, we would look, and we knew there would be breast involved if it said Funimation on it. So if it didn't say Funimation, we knew that it was going to be a teaser. So we'd always look for Funimation, and we knew there would be titties involved, and we were happy campers.
Oh, it's like one of the shows I worked on was We Without Wings, which was one of the as we like to refer to it, one of the titty shows.
Yeah.
And like that one in High School DxD, which is another one I was in. And so when I was doing We Without Wings, they explained, it's kind of, it's not like X-rated, but it's raunchier, it's dirtier.
Correct.
And they're like, are you okay using your normal name on this, or do you want to use a stage name? And I'm like, this is me. I don't care. Put my name on there. It's like, I don't.
Eric, what would be your stage name?
Well, I'm already Eric Cherry. I'm like, I'm already Cherry. I'm like, what can I go with?
Yeah, no.
Like, I got a built-in stripper name. I mean,
when she first told me your name, I'm kind of like sitting there, and I was going to ask, is Eric Cherry your real name?
I know, Very Cherry. Well, I always joke that because I love my nieces, but I don't want any kids of my own. But if I ever do have kids and I have a male child, his first name is going to be Dewey and his middle name is going to be Buster. Oh yeah,
That's
Dewey
cruel.
Buster Cherry. Oh yeah, I'm going to be that dad.
Cruel.
I'm going to be that dad.
But Well, my train of thought derailed, and there were no survivors involved in that one. When you do the ones that are a little raunchier, can you explain why there's always the gratuitous white cotton panty shots and all of them?
Well, it originally started. It's funny. Japanese culture is very sexually repressed.
Correct.
So what started is it was a term called fan service, like panty shots. It was the term. It was called fan service, and it started introducing panty shots into these shows that were still kid appropriate, but then they had these for the adults watching it with, just so dad can get a little whoop whoop while watching it with his children. And then they've taken it from there, and then they have like hentai, which is all the X-rated anime and stuff like that. But it's honestly it's really no different for the most part than American culture in that aspect, because like over there, that's why anime is so popular. It's such a small country, such a small area. They don't have big movie studios. They can't do big budget movies. So that's why they always do everything is animated. It's all the cartoons are anime. They're primetime 7:00 TV shows. Like when we're watching like House or whatever, they're there watching Attack on Titan, which is a cartoon. It's considered adult primetime stuff.
Really? Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know I'm a day late and a dollar short, but so people started watching anime because they wanted to see the panty shots? Is that what you're saying?
No. They introduced the panty shots because it was a way for them to get
adults
involved in that the anime culture.
And trust me, if you've ever seen serious anime, all of a sudden they'll be doing something totally obscure, and all of a sudden there'll be this gratuitous white cotton panty shot out of nowhere, and you're sitting there going, me and my son had speculated on that quite more than once, like, what the hell is it with the damn white cotton panty shots? And it's always white cotton. It's not.
No, it's nothing like super kinky or whatever. It's just white cotton, like almost like grandma panties.
Yeah, it's like granny panties.
Oh, he just killed it.
I know, right?
I lost my boner.
If they don't call me Eric Boner Killer Cherry for nothing.
She had a dick.
Boom.
I got big balls.
As you're sitting here spread legal from us.
Yeah, you are.
No one sees that, okay?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, he did, because she turned them. You're on camera now.
Yeah, but no one sees this.
Well, if she pitches a tent, we'll know what the reason is. Okay, as you and I were talking earlier,
I'm sorry.
obviously, as you were telling me, even those that do the main voices, it's not enough to support you.
Yeah, people are in the anime voice acting world. A lot. I go to a lot of anime conventions, and I get a lot of questions about like how do I become a voice actor, this and that, and they think we're like crazy rich celebrities. No, all of us who do this, we do it as a passion for love for what we enjoy doing. They do not pay us very well. Even like the mainstream, like major anime voice actors, like the Greg Ayers and the J. Michael Tatums and Brina Palencias, they are also doing other things. They're script writing, or they're doing other shows, or they're doing commercials, or they're doing other things to supplement their income, because you can't make a living just being an anime voice actor.
Okay.
You do it because you love it. You do it because you love the craft.
Okay, so you have to love the art to begin with. If you're looking to get into this
For fame and celebrity,
it ain't happening.
Do something else.
Now, when you go to these conventions, are you paid to go to, or do they at least cover your room and board?
You do get a generic appearance fee. They fly you out there, they put you up in the hotel, and then they normally give you some type of appearance fee for showing up. Again, it's not like they're giving you $10,000 to come out.
Right.
It's enough to be like, hey, I could have been like me. I'm a bartender in real life when I'm not doing my voiceover stuff, and so I'm like, hey, if you want me to come out, can I just get a couple $100? It's what I would have made if I'd been bartending over the weekend. So that way I'm not missing out on any money for coming to this convention. And that's basically what it is. Based on how popular are they, there's a varying scale of how much they pay you, but you do get a little bit of an appearance fee.
Right. If you're dead person too, and you're not a lead character like you're slowly becoming because of Assassination Classroom
and Fairy Tale, which is the other big show I'm in right now.
And to tell you the truth, if you shaved, something tells me you kind of look a lot like the character in which you played if you let your hair down.
Oh, yeah. And I kind of joke that I look just like my character in Fairy Tale if I shaved my beard. But then again, if I shave my beard, I look like I'm 17. I once got ID'd buying a video game because I'm like, dude, I was playing video games when you were in diapers. I'm like, and you think
I got 17? You beat. I had an original Pong. That was my first deal on
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's how old I am. I'm old school. But what kind of anime do you like? Now, I know you're going to take the gig because it pays, but are you a huge anime fan to begin with? Do you have a collection of them at home?
Oh, yeah, I'm a real big anime fan. In fact, this is how I got into anime. It was, I was at my aunt's house in El Paso, where I'm originally from, and I was like 10, 11 years old at the time, and my mom and my aunt were off doing whatever they were doing, and I was just sitting there watching TV, and it was USA Up All Night, if you remember that back in the day.
I do.
And they happened to be showing the original Vampire Hunter D.
Oh, sweet.
And so my entire life, when I'm not into cartoons, I'm into horror movies. I'm a giant horror movie buff. I've got like a Jason Voorhees tattoo. Godzilla. Huge horror movie, that type of stuff. No, I have a Jason Voorhees tattoo.
But not a Godzilla?
Not yet. I'm actually going to do an entire sleeve of horror movie monsters.
Oh, yeah, the original black and whites, the 1952 Godzilla, the original Bela Lugosi Dracula, Lon Chaney's...
well, that's what I want to do. My tattoo, I want to do my upper arm, the traditional Universal horror movie monster. Correct. I want to do Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, the Frankenstein werewolf, Frankenstein... Dracula, Wolfman, Creature from Black Lagoon.
Right.
And then on my lower arm, I want to do the stuff I grew up with, so like Chucky, Freddy, Jason, zombies. Oh, wow. So that's what I plan to do. But anyway, so like I was saying, so I get sidetracked easy. So I was watching Up All Night on USA and watched Vampire Hunter D, and I'm like, this is awesome. It's a cartoon, but it's a horror movie. I'm like, I didn't know
serious.
And it's serious. I'm like, I didn't know they made these things. And so the next day, I go to Blockbuster, if anyone knows what a Blockbuster is. And I go to their animation section, which is, this tiny little section there with like 20 movies. And I rent Vampire Hunter D because I want to see what it's like not edited for TV.
Right.
And I watched it, and I saw my first ever cartoon boobs. Cartoon boobs.
Hey, man, they're great.
Yeah. And I was like, this is awesome. So then I went back, and I was like, Vampire Hunter D, Devil Hunter Yoko. They're both hunters. Must be like the same thing. No, this one was way more racy. I mean, it wasn't like, porno racy, but it was way more racy than the other one. And I'm like, this 13-year-old boy who's finding his sexuality, and I'm like, this is awesome.
He's beating his meat 10 times a day.
So I got a question. So that's how I originally got into anime, was these...
Oh, I got a question.
Yeah.
My initial introduction was Ninja Scrolls. I always ask anybody who does that, or anybody who's into anime, how do you feel about Ninja Scroll? Because like right now, to me, that for everybody that I come across, that's like an undisputed, like, that's a great anime film.
Oh, it was great on multiple levels, because it was one of the first ones that they really geared as an adult serious anime. There was blood and violence, nudity, but the storyline was a great storyline. It was like a great love story.
Yeah.
It really was a great love story that they told. So it was there. It was like I said, it would be like your normal technical R-rated blockbuster movie that we see in America, but it was animated for that audience, and back in the day it was popular, and hopefully, I mean, it's still considered a classic. And Ninja Scrolls is amazing.
Yes. But when unfortunately, America, for all its great technical achievements, I'm sorry, anime today has anything is beating anything that America is producing cartoon-wise.
Oh, yeah. Cartoon-wise, it's blowing us out of the water, and even sometimes storyline-wise. I mean, like, like Akira, for instance, they've been fighting to reproduce that in America for forever, to make a live-action version of it. Assassination Classroom, the show I'm in Japan right now, they're already starting their second live-action film of it over in Japan, and that people in America are already talking about making an American live-action version of it, which is so funny, because if anyone had pitched the idea of what that anime is about in America, they would have been like, "Are you stupid? That will never sell."
Oh, well, it's the same thing. English. You've got, what was it? Absolutely Fabulous. They redid it in American. That was horrendous.
The drunk chicks.
Yeah.
That's not horrendous, just so you know. But
the original British version was 1,000 times
we love
better.
drunk
Top
chicks
Gear.
no matter what.
Top Gear, it sucked.
But
Space.
real quick, if you're watching live and you have a question, just call in 504-656-6247 is the number. Again, that's 504-656-6247. If you have a question on any shows.
Do I need to put the headphones on so I can hear if there's a phone calling?
You might want to.
Okay.
And if you have a question for Mr. Cherry and anime and the voiceover work. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Talk about titties and white panties and all that.
I did not know that they have a live version of Assassination Classroom season 1.
Well, they have a live action movie. They've already have one movie out, and they're currently working on the second one right now.
Well, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix or any of those?
It hasn't been licensed in America yet. Hoping.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Hoping Funimation gets it so I can reprise my role. But it's the same with the Attack on Titan movie. It still hasn't been licensed in America. So
Funimation, okay. I gotta ask you, Dragon Ball Z, they made a live action movie. How do you feel about that?
Kind of like Airbender, it sucked.
It was it's a bittersweet thing for me. I liked that they made it because it brought more attention to anime and got more focus on it. But on the flip side, it was such a horrible movie. I'm like, there's so much culture, and it's still one of the longest running and highest profiting animes ever to be created, and that movie was just so horrible.
Well, like a Airbender, The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
It was such a great story. It brought you in. You really loved it, and then I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck they were doing with the live.
It was M. Night Shyamalan. What do you expect? He hasn't made a good movie since his first one.
True, The Evil Dead was pretty greatness. Swallow your soul. Swallow your soul.
No, that's Sam Raimi. M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who did Sixth Sense.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then every crappy movie after that.
Yeah. What?
Keep going. I went, I love M. Night Shyamalan, but yeah, he did the Airbender, right?
Yeah.
And ruined it.
Yeah, and
Yes.
my son was like, I hate M. Night Shyamalan for ruining it. And I'm like, sorry.
Well, but if you spent the time, now, of course, I understand that, the Airbender was on for like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And you really got brought into everybody's story. The storyline was magnificent. And I understand you have 90 minutes that you have to break it into, or even less.
Yeah.
But he butchered it so badly.
Well, he could have done it so much better because he could have broken up basically each season into a different movie.
Correct.
And had 4 different movies, but he tried to cram it all into one shitty ass movie.
Well, yeah, and it was, and that's the thing is when you're a fan of something, especially when it comes to anime, and you've vested 4 or 5 seasons before it even ends, and then some peckerhead somewhere decides they're going to make a live action movie of it, and with today's technology, you're sitting there going, okay, great. We're back in the 80s, you were kind of like, no, leave it alone.
Am I the only one that goes, you know what? I was watching a cartoon. They tried to make it real. There's just some things that's going to be missing. I'm okay with that because, Airbender, it wasn't that bad to me. I gave it some credit. They kept up with the storyline. I didn't have to wait. I didn't see this in the anime. This is how this. No, it was on point. The only thing that sucked about it was they just couldn't you can't capture Aang's power with CGI or anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the power of the pen on the cool. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same way. One of the things people argue and dislike immensely about, hardcore fans of The Walking Dead love the comic book. A lot of them don't like that the show didn't follow the comic book spot on.
See, I'm the opposite because I'm a huge comic book nerd as well.
Okay.
And I've started reading Walking Dead from the day it first came out because I'm,
I said,
one horror movie man, love zombies, and so I loved it. And so with the Walking Dead TV show, I liked it that it was loyal enough to the comic that you didn't feel like they just threw all the source material out, but it was different enough that it still kept me guessing because if they just followed the comic word for word, now, I already know what's going to happen.
But
I just need to know, does Glenn die or not? That's all I want to know. Are you going to trick me and put somebody else on, or
Well, but
does
see
Glenn die?
now the comic book has changed. Has changed direction. It is now following the deal, and I actually did some research on that, and that's why they came out with what's the new one?
That Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's a Walking Dead universe. Fear of the Walking
Fear
Dead.
of the Walking Dead. Yeah.
It now, what it does is it's the Walking Dead universe, but no comic book, no nothing. So they can do what they want. But they, after doing some study and talking to people, the creators of The Walking Dead really got freaking tired of having to answer all these questions. So they brought the books in line with the show instead of the other way around.
Because the show became more popular than the actual comic book. Because, I mean, it diverged so much at the prison. Mm-hmm. Like, when the governor invaded the prison, what happened in the comic book was way different from anything that happened in the show.
Well, and also in the comic book, there is no Daryl Dixon.
I know, which is everyone's like favorite character, which is the opposite, because my favorite character in the comic book was Tyrone, the black guy with a hammer, the ex-football player, which his character was totally different in the show.
Oh, I agree with you, but now my children more than me are like huge into, excuse me, we call it manga, us old timers, but trust me, if I was to say manga around my kids, I go, no, it's manga.
Anime, it's potato. We're in America. I mean,
but trust me, my daughter gets all bent out of it. My youngest daughter gets bent all out of shape over it.
I'm hydrating.
Yeah, that's water.
Got to keep those vocal cords nice and right?
That's right.
Whenever you get a chance, we're going to take a break so that we can hear.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. We've kind of already sidetracked into other things besides anime, so we might as well take a break now.
No Nuts 383.
All right, this is another one of my favorites because this is now a rock and roll band. 383, No Nuts.
Excellent.
Oh, it is. It's phenomenal.
Can't wait to hear it.
From the One-Eyed Joe Studios in Deep Ellum, this is On Air Live.
Between everyone trying to
And we're back.
From the One-Eyed Joe Studios in Deep Ellum, this is On Air Live.
Great. That was 383. Bitches.
No, no.
No nuts. Great. We're going to go see them this Friday. Tomcats, are you going?
I don't know yet. I think I'm...
Don't let 383 hear you say that.
Oh, they know. They know I can't make all of them.
I love them. I love them. I love them. So we're back. Second half. Eric Cherry. He hasn't left. He's still good.
Still here.
And
So was your first sexual experience outside of it?
White panties,
was it white
hookers.
cotton panties and someone dressed up as anime and cosplay?
do you do cosplay?
I used to. That's when I first got into the anime world. I used to cosplay all the time.
Oh, yeah? As what character?
I was a big fan of Naruto, so I was Shino, I was one of the, he basically his powers, he can control bugs. So I was the first person to glue bugs like all over my body as part of my costume. And then I'm also the first person, I also loved Initial D, which was a street racing anime. And I was the first person to actually make the car as my costume. Like I made the car, and it took off. Like everyone started making the car back in the day. Which, okay, so funny story. I'm real big into competition animes. Like you asked me earlier what type of animes I like. I like competition animes. So anything that like Hajime no Ippo, which is an awesome boxing anime. Grappler Baki, which is a mixed martial arts anime. Initial D, which is street racing. Hikaru no Go, which you think would be boring because it's an entire anime about playing Go. Like, you know, the little stone game. It's awesome. I love it.
So what you're saying is you're a true dyed-in-the-world nerd.
Oh, giant nerd. Giant nerd. Dude, I had to quit WoW because it was screwing up with my grades, all right?
True story, right?
True
a lot
story,
of people.
bro. Yeah. So Initial D was one of my favorite animes. I cosplayed from it, whatever. Tokyo Pop got the initial rights to it. Screwed up the first release of the anime. They changed the music to like really bad knockoff hip hop. Changed the character. Not that there's anything wrong with hip hop, but the whole point of it was it's Eurobeat. It's like, you know, techno music, and then they put in this really bad, just like basement bargain. I met this guy on the Ventura Boulevard and bought his CD hip hop. It was horrible, and changed characters' names, everything. I was so upset. And then Funimation, after they went under, got the rights and redubbed it. And I auditioned for the show, and I auditioned for my favorite character, and Ryosuke. And Ryosuke, he drives the yellow FC, the yellow RX-7. And the guy who was directing the show at the time, he ended up calling me afterwards and said, "Hey, you got the role." And I'm like, yes, finally my first lead role, and it's my favorite character in like one of my favorite animes. I'm super stoked. And then he left the company, and they brought in a new director. And the new director totally recast the entire show.
Oh, that sucks.
And this is where Todd Haberkorn became my nemesis. He's actually an awesome dude. I love Todd Haberkorn. He's a great guy.
We all have a nemesis.
But that's when I'm not his nemesis. He's just my nemesis. It's totally one-sided because he ended up getting that role, and I was like, and I was so angry. But the guy who directed that show,
Do you feel like? I mean, is it like Perry the Platypus and like Dr. D, like that kind of nemesis type?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I like the throwback. Yeah.
Glad you could make it. Here, just have a key. It'll change. It'll help the replacement of the doors.
But on the flip side, Joel McDonald, who directed that show, who's a good friend of mine, ever since then, like every show he does, he gives me a role in it because I guess it's like he's trying to make up for it. He's always like every show.
Sorry, I fucked you out of your biggest role, but here, have guard B. He says, as he gets stabbed.
One of the funny things is, like I said, I was an anime fan before I became a voice actor. One of the shows I loved was Rurouni Kenshin.
Right.
And Funimation got the rights to the live-action Rurouni Kenshin film, and Joel was directing it, and I found that out. And it's super bad form to like ask a director to cast you in a show. Super bad form.
Note to self.
Yeah, I know. But I'm such a big fan. I was like, Joel, I don't care if I'm like guard B, but can you please put me in Rurouni Kenshin? I love the show. And he's like, I'll see what I can do. Next thing you know, they're like, hey, you're recording with Joel. And I show up and I'm like, I'm going to be in Rurouni Kenshin.
that is like one of my all-time favorites right there. Like I can sit down and watch that series over and over and over. And it takes damn near a year to watch this shit.
Oh yeah,
even if you binge watch.
Yeah, like
okay. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Because Littles, you had no idea what my show was going to be today, right?
No.
Okay. And I did not know about. I know about anime. I just never watched
Just the tentacle porn.
And you know, my son does, and I knew I had a little. My cousin was supposed to be here, and poor thing, she was going to be here as a fan to ask you questions, and she couldn't. So I'm sorry, Jasmine. I love you. Hope you're watching.
I'll sign an autograph for you, Jasmine.
Hey, and I asked the question on my Facebook, you know, about anime. It was kind of surprising, only to me, and I'm sorry, I'm a loser. But everybody had like tons of shows. All these, I was like, fuck. Which I knew because when I looked up anime and the different shows that you told me about, and I thought, wow, okay, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. I get it, and I get it. But like, it's surprising to me, Littles. It's kind of surprising to me, the people that are into anime, and Littles over here, like, all kinds of shit going on. And it's like, wow. So
I do this to you every week, though.
Oh no!
See, because you judge a book by its cover.
Well, no, because I have you know the strippers in here, and so you already knew about titties.
Right.
So
Yeah, but ain't nothing. One thing
acquainted.
about anime is their titties are always perfect, no matter what size they are.
No matter what,
yeah.
like if they're big or if they're small, they
Yeah,
are perfect.
they're always
perfect.
perky. They're perfect.
Like, all right,
And
pull out the
it's not
quarters. Let's start
real.
drawing circles around them. These are gonna be perfect.
But it's amazing to me the amount of people that are into it, and you kind of don't know about it until you ask people, and it's so huge.
Well,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. Because, like he said, you can, what Eric brought up earlier is,
And Littles, I'm sorry, can you just see if there's any phone calls? You know, I don't know if it makes a noise or whatever.
one of the great things about it is some of the production work is better than what you're seeing on TV, and it's better than the movies that are coming out, just as Eric said.
Oh, yeah.
The quality of Assassination Classroom, you know, you take a look at it, you look like a giant smiley face guy with a bunch of freaking tentacles, but the production work on it is so spot on. And then when you get into the character,
And the storylines
Is awesome.
It's well written.
yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, you know, how many crap movies does Hollywood have to keep throwing at us that are bombing, and they're surprised they're bombing yet?
Here's a perfect example. So they're remaking the Magnificent Seven. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it yet, which I'm already like, wow, okay, you can't rehash. But the funny thing is, the original Magnificent Seven was almost, you can look it up online, and they'll show you, it's almost a screen-for-screen, shot-for-shot reshoot of Akira Toriyama's Samurai 7.
Yeah, it is.
And I know that was the idea, but it was almost literally a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
So the original Magnificent Seven's a remake of a Japanese film, and then now they're remaking the remake.
What?
And that's what gets stupid. Another prime example is none of the major studios would touch A Passion for the Christ. So not Mel Brooks,
Gibson.
Mel Gibson made it himself, put his own money in it, and it became the largest independent-made film ever. And they sit there, and I know these execs are sitting up in a boardroom somewhere going, ugh.
It blows my mind. Like two perfect examples. One is, so I'm like I said, I'm a giant nerd, all around nerd.
Right.
So one of my favorite shows to come out in the last 15 years was Firefly. I absolutely loved Firefly.
Not a big fan of Firefly, but I get why people like it. I really do. It just never did grab me like it did a lot of people.
So I was like a huge fan of Firefly, and then they canceled it in the middle of the season, which was stupid because it's, in my opinion, some of Joss Whedon's best work.
Uh-oh. We have a phone call.
You're on here watching her live.
Caller.
Hey, Mom. I'm here for Wrecking Ball.
He said, "Hey, Mom." Hi, honey.
I guess it's like the show and the call, I guess. I'm just now hearing about the talk about making animes into movies. And I'm just like, they've done that. I mean, granted, I've only watched some mainstream stuff like like Naruto, Bleach, things of that nature, and I've seen the movies that they make. And the issue is that they're not really canon. Or I don't want to say they're not canon. Just it's kind of weird how they place it in. And
so you're talking about like when they make like the Naruto Shippuden movie or the Bleach movie, how it's not following the manga storyline.
Well, I don't really follow the manga all too well either. I think that's another issue. Not really an issue, but another thing that I really don't like about things that follow the manga is that they catch up and then they put on all these filler episodes right whenever they catch up. They have all these filler episodes that don't really take place at the same time, or that's not really concurrent at the timeline that's going on.
Well,
I think what he's talking about is he's talking kind of like the Star Wars. When Disney bought it, they said, okay, if it's not the original movies or these two comics, it's not canon. I understand what he's saying, and what it sounds like what he's saying to me is he's going, you have all these fillers just to pacify the public.
That's when it comes down to it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Correct.
Basically what it boils down to, because like Attack on Titan's a perfect example. It came out, it was such a huge major hit that people are like, we want season 2, we want season 2, we want season 2. The problem is it takes longer to create the manga, than it does to create, the show. And so they're like, well, we have to wait till we have more comics out, or we can give you filler episodes. It's what would one or the other. What do you want? Yeah, do you want filler episodes, or do you want?
Well, but even the anime itself is very time producing. Isn't it like?
Oh yeah.
Like each season literally takes like a year to make.
Year and a half, because they have to draw it. That's the one thing is a lot of Japanese anime, they still use hand-drawn cells.
Yes.
They don't use computer stuff like American cartoons. So it takes longer.
And you can tell the difference.
Oh yeah, you see the difference.
That's why I think it is so popular, is because the artwork is phenomenal artwork. It's not crap.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So did that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can appreciate that. I can kind of understand it. It's just for me, from my opinion, it kind of brought a little bit of agitation to it. I mean, me personally, I'd rather wait. I mean, I've waited. Like, I haven't actually, now that it's ended, like, I haven't finished Naruto Shippuden.
Then you raised a good son, because that's the reason why they have to do it.
Hell yeah, I raised a good son. Hey, honey, did you start watching anime because they showed a lot of white panties? Is that why?
Oh, no, he was on the internet. He found tentacle porn from Jump Street.
Actually, it was Jasmine is the one that started my
from Thundercats.
Yeah.
No.
Imagine walking in like that robot chicken where she has her leg up.
No. Wait, what
Naruto
he's saying is his
was
cousin.
out for years before I started it in middle school.
Okay.
No, what he was saying is his cousin Jasmine, who was supposed to be here today, is the one who started him.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Jasmine from Aladdin.
Giggity.
Honey, they're making you dirty.
You are Dirty D.
I was already like that, but whatever.
Hey, that's your mother and that's your son.
I'm Dirty D. He's not Dirty A. He's not Dirty A.
Yeah. There's some questions that even as a parent,
and I know we're way past
you're
this,
headed
but I
down
just
a
got to
path.
say M. Night Shyamalan, he blows.
Yep.
Honey, I love M. Night Shyamalan. So you always piss me off when you talk shit about him.
Well, if he started making good
Well,
movies,
he
it
pisses
helped.
me off
Exactly.
whenever he shits on movies and shows that I love. So.
Thank you, sir.
Honey, I love you. Thank you for calling in. Go take care of that
for sure.
baby.
Love you too, Mom. All right, I'm going to go.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
sweetie.
So
nice watching your show.
Thank you. Bye.
How old is he, and he has a baby?
Almost 22.
Oh,
Okay.
She was just born. She's
Yeah, I saw her
8
face
months.
on your...
Yeah. That's my little cutie.
Congratulations. Late.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So now you're granny.
I didn't do it, but
Yeah, but you're still
You
not
started
granny.
it. You started it all.
my legacy, bitches. So we're getting close to the end of the show. Eric, so you said that you have another job
Yep.
outside of doing this, And where I met you was the Sunshine. And I did not know that you were a bartender there.
Yeah, I worked at the Sunshine for a while. I'm friends with Damon, the owner. He needed a fill-in. One of the other bartenders was on maternity leave, so I went in and worked some shifts. And then I still pick up shifts here and there if someone needs a day off.
So let me just tell you, the Sunshine, everybody has been to the Sunshine, whether you realize it or not. The Sunshine is in Arlington, and it's right down the street from the Arlington jail.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
They still actually have a rule. If you come over to the Sunshine and show your release papers, you get 1 free beer and 1 free cigarette.
Fuck! That is good to know.
Yeah.
Seriously good to know. So...
I've never been there.
Oh, the Shine's awesome. It's the
No.
greatest.
Love.
It's the greatest dive bar in
you?
DFW.
No, I'm from Dallas, so I don't really go out to Arlington too much. But
Arlington,
Now, wait a
it's on
second. Did that
Division
used to be
and Cooper.
Skippy's?
I didn't.
It's
I
right
stayed
in
the
front of
street from it,
Skippy's.
actually. But
Skippy's Caves.
I used to.
Caves Lounge used to be Skippy's.
Right.
This was the bar that was in front of Skippy's since the '60s.
Okay, I know that it still even has the classic.
Oh yeah.
I know
Told
exactly.
you.
I've never been in it, but I know it.
Yep.
So the Sunshine is really cool. I really love it. I've been, my cousin turned me on to it, and I've been going there since 9/11, because before 9/11, and it's you become a regular for a while.
It's a Cheers bar. It's
It
Yeah.
is. It is, because I can leave that bar and, I even moved to Seattle and came back, but I'll always still go into the Sunshine, and I swear to God, there's always a fucking regular there. To this day.
oh yeah.
That's
So-
what those type of bars
well,
have.
I love it, though. I
Brian,
fucking
Brian
love it.
French has been coming to that bar for
Thank
24 years now.
And that motherfucker gave me a mind eraser, and it erased my mind.
He's Mr. Mind Eraser. That's
Oh my
one of his go-to
God.
shots.
It fucked me up. I will never do that again.
But the other cool thing about the Shine is the Dallas Observer just voted them 5th best mid-cities music venue.
Really?
Yeah, they're
Really?
do-it-yourself music venue. Matt does all the booking. We have a great setup, and Dallas Observer voted them 5th best music venue in the mid-cities.
I've been trying to get a band in there, and I think you know which band I've been trying to get in there.
Talk to Matt.
I have 2 bands, actually, I want to get in there. And, but yeah, no, you got to go to the fucking Sunshine. I love it. It's the best dive bar ever. And just so you know, if you go in the restroom, I
Have
didn't.
you been doing the glory hole in the restroom?
No. If you actually go into the bathroom, should I say? No, there's no glory hole in there. But years ago, before I even started doing the show, I like to tag stuff. But if you go in the women's restroom, you will actually see Dirty D written in there. It is still there to this day. If you go to my website, you will actually see the picture of it written in there. And I'm like, really? It wasn't desecrated like a long time ago? Probably will be now, bitches. But I'm just saying, I fucking love the Sunshine, because you can go in there at any point in time out of all these years, fucking 15 years, and I will always see somebody.
Yeah.
I'll see Jim. Is Postal still going in there?
Every
I'm
now
sure
and
he
then,
is, right?
yeah.
I'm talking, you're always going to see a fucking regular in there, and I love it. And I love Donna, and I love Killer. I told Killer I wanted her on the show because she can talk some shit.
Oh, damn straight she can.
It's so fucking funny. I didn't know you were a bartender there, so
Yeah.
that was probably one of the times I just did not go in there. But, you just can go in there at any point in time, and you'll always,
Yeah.
somebody will always know your name.
Arlington Cheers.
Arlington Cheers. Can I do 3 quick shout-outs before
Go
we leave?
for it.
Number 1, on the music side, coming up on May 1st at Curtain Club is Paco Estrada's benefit show, whatever. But, dude, I'm old school in the Dallas music scene. Sugar Bomb reunion show. That's all I got to say. Sugar Bomb playing for the first time in like
Sugar Bomb.
8 years, I think, since their last like reunion show. Awesome. Go see Sugar Bomb. And then
Go see Sugar Bomb.
yeah. On the anime world, coming up July 15th, 16th, and 17th, I'm going to be a guest at Tokyo and Tulsa, which is my favorite anime convention that I've ever been to.
That's kind of weird that it's in Tulsa and it's anime.
Oh, it's huge. The last year they had like 10,000 people attend the convention.
We're trying to burn down all the churches in Tulsa.
No, this is going to be my 3rd year in a row going to this convention, and I'm really impressed with it.
We should
and
go.
it's awesome.
We should do something.
And then that's
Road trip, bitches.
Yeah, I know. Come to Tulsa, hang out with me.
Fuck yeah. We're going to work something out here.
All right.
Show-wise, too. Just so you know.
Done. That same weekend, if you don't want to leave Texas, Anime Austin is having their very first show in Austin.
Oh, my... Austin, we're there, right? Just say, come on, Littles, we're there.
I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be in Tulsa, but my friends are putting on that show. They've had me as a guest before at Louisiana Anime. They're awesome people. They're going to put on a great show. So if you want to stay in Texas, go down to Anime Austin.
When is that again?
July 15th, 16th, and 17th.
But then again, also, the summer months are coming up on almost all the fests, the Comic-Cons.
Oh, yeah.
The Anime, A-Con, which is here.
So I really enjoyed this show. I really did. I mean, I don't know anything about it. So as a person that doesn't, I think it's pretty cool because I was actually entertained. And
then you find surprising people who know it that you didn't expect to know it.
No fucking shit. So, hey, guys, if you have any questions or you want to ask about certain things, just go to my website, wreckingballtalk.com. I would love to continue on with doing more segments on anime because I didn't realize it was so popular. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to go watch some shows.
Heck yeah.
Which one should I watch first?
Man, that's
Ninja
one of those.
Scrolls, hands down.
Which one?
Ninja Scroll, hands
Ninja
down.
Scroll's good, but you want to kind of ease her into it. Go see.
No, man, I go hard, bitches.
Now, see,
Which one?
Dude, if you want to go hard, start with Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the perfect one to go to.
Attack on Titan, I'm going on that one first, and then we're going to ease
High
on
School of
into
the
it.
Dead.
Yeah. So we're going to end the show. Thank you, Mr. Eric Cherry.
No, thank you for having me.
I love that. I love it. And thank you, Lewis, for running the show because you saved me.
I don't know about that.
You saved me. And we're going to end the show with the last song on the new EP from 383. So whenever you're ready, Littles, we're going to end the show.
What's that song again?
Raw Power.
That's it. That's it. This one jams too.
It jams. It jams, bitches.
From the One-Eyed Joe Studios in Deep Ellum, this is On Air Live.